Great news. We want to hear from you. We want your questions, your thoughts, all of that good stuff. And you can email us now at podcast@mancity.com.
It was a terrific game. The first half in particular was bristling with entertainment. And in the end, deservedly, City have seen Bournemouth off. The final score here at the Etihad Stadium, City 3, Bournemouth 1.
The official Manchester City podcast. Watch the full video version of this show via City Plus now.
Well, let's go back to the studio and we can join Kel.
Good evening, welcome back to Matchday Live. It's me, Kel Spellman, live from the Etihad, and it is full time in our Premier League clash against Bournemouth. What a game and what a result. It has finished Manchester City 3, Bournemouth 1. The third goal coming from that man there, assisted by the man who had his arm around his shoulder. A goal straight from the academy, Nico O'Reilly, got the third and sealed the deal. Alongside me, we've got Luke Stanley and Stephen McInerney. Stephen, we're buzzing. Good day at the office.
Wonderful, mate. That is exactly what you want against Bournemouth. You've got to be stronger, you've got to be quicker, you've got to want it more, you've got to have the quality. And City today, against one of the best sides in the league, were outstanding. Probably one of the best performances of the season, that, if I'm being honest. Had everything you want. And when you get, your new signings like Shirky having such a positive impact, you get an academy like O'Reilly showing what makes him such a brilliant prospect, have such a decisive impact on the game, and Haaland, of course, scoring a couple of goals. You can't really ask for much more than that. Bournemouth would have gotten so much more out of that against so many more teams, other teams than City. And an excellent day. And of course, back up to second in the Premier League.
Another 2 goals from that man as well on your screen there, Luke, giving it home to Kolo Toure. Commiserations to Iriola, of course. A very, very good Bournemouth side, and I don't think that can be understated. We know the form that they were coming into it. It just shows how good City were today at, nullifying the threat that Bournemouth have.
Well, it's November, isn't it? It's November, and they haven't lost since August. So for us to win that game there really is a statement now. Just saying, the teams will be watching that on Sunday afternoon there thinking, that's a good team, that's a good team. It's a very good performance. Haaland there, smiling he's sort of half content, he's not too happy. He's only scored 2 goals.
When's he getting that hat-trick? What's he doing?
You can see the love that Pep has for him there. I mean, as well that he'll be going in saying, I could have had 3, I could have even had 4, to be honest, today. Luke, I also wanted to ask, for Pep as well, for what he's seen from his players, going off kind of Stephen's point, it wasn't just an attacking performance. Yeah. It had grit. Defensively, I thought we were great, bar conceding from the corner. All the elements that we need to see for us to actually put a bit of a run together. Yeah,
and even Donnarumma in goal, obviously we conceded that one that he felt was a foul. That was the goal we conceded, but he made a couple big saves there, I thought, and there was a few times where I thought Bournemouth were in, and like you said, we just shut them out defensively. So conceded 1 goal there off the corner, but it was a very strong performance all round, I thought.
Erling Haaland was given man of the match here in the stadium. I think it was a contention for a few other players for me. One being who we just kind of the last City play we saw there, Phil Foden. We're going to be speaking about Haaland and of course Shirky with 2 assists, but he got his assist. But for me, Stephen, it was the way he knitted everything together in the middle of the park.
There was a beautiful maturity to his play, that he obviously when he was younger he used to want to be the guy who scored the goal or made the final pass, and of course he got an assist today, but sometimes you've got to be the guy who makes the pass before the assist, or the guy who will drop deep when someone else goes forward. And he saw all elements of what makes Phil Foden such a wonderful player. The understanding of the game state now and the ability to sort of do the dirty work as well, it makes Phil such a fantastic footballer. But to me, the little give and goes, the little touches, the little passes before the final ball, all those things they're such a development for Phil. The best I've ever seen of that was David Silva, a man that Phil Foden, of course, knows remarkably well, given he grew up idolising him. And you see little traits of that to his game, and you see the maturity and how he's developing, how he's growing. And it's really, really encouraging because his form is back. Last season was a difficult one, but this year he's showing a different side to him, which I really, really enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking at some of the moments from the second half and starting with kind of something you mentioned, Luke, obviously Donnarumma was pulled into a few saves. we started the second half a little bit sloppy. I think, Shirky had a great first half, gave the ball away a couple of times. They hit the side netting and then a couple of saves from Donnarumma. But bar that, they didn't really test us too much.
Well, it seemed that their main threat, like we said, was those counters, and we did limit them quite a lot. There was Nunes in particular, the City fans were chanting his name at the end. I thought he had a very good game. Just shutting them out, and I really didn't want to see us concede. After going 1-0 up, you go 1-1. You don't want to go 2-1 and then 2-2 because then it turns into a basketball game and it goes a bit crazy. And I said we need to get that third goal. Obviously, we'll get onto that and it did come. But ultimately, I think we just did a good job. We just did a good job at stopping them scoring again.
And I think as well, it felt like we saw the intensity and the pace of the first half, which was great for the spectators. But City did, Stephen, seem to be a bit more mature and dictated the pace a little bit more to control the game, would you say, a bit?
Yeah, definitely. And I think the game I think Bournemouth dictated that as well, because naturally they tightened up a little bit. They weren't, the line wasn't quite as high as in the first half. They were much more aware of what City were doing, and Iriola's smart enough to go, look, they're getting behind really often. That space wasn't there as much. But we still had the composure, the maturity to see it out, as we were saying, at half-time. We've been a 45-minute side too often this season where we've not quite matched the levels. And this second half, look, Bournemouth got a little bit better defensively, but City also kept their nerve too. They sort of stifled Bournemouth and got the goal when it mattered while keeping it tight at the back. And the players, Bernardo particularly, by the way, I think he'll go sort of... his performance won't really get the headlines given Shirky, Haaland and so on, but he saw all his experience. The amount of times he was just down at left back or right back, just standing in for someone. And he saw Nico Gonzalez as well, winning everything in midfield. It was just a really mature display for City. And where the great sides, they can do that. They can do all the wonderful football, but they know when to slow things down or when just to dig in a little bit. And that's what we got.
Yeah, we did indeed. Let's speak about the third goal then. And we spoke about, he had a chance in the first half where he could have maybe taken it a bit soon, tried to go around the keeper, couldn't quite get the finish. But Nico O'Reilly, when he got his second chance, he made sure he took it.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. I mean, like you said, in the first half, he could have scored. And I found it quite funny because Phil Foden said a couple of weeks ago, he said, every time I pass to Haaland, he seems to miss, which was quite funny. And Foden just laid it to Nico O'Reilly. He's just blasted it into what a goal as well. It's a real just top finish.
Yeah.
And coming from left back, we know obviously O'Reilly can play in the middle, and he can, he's definitely got a future there, I believe, in this team as well. But playing at left back, that was an outstanding performance from him, and what a goal as well. So he deserved the goal as well.
He deserved the goal, and also Pep loved it that much. He blew him some kisses, Steve.
Did he?
You could see how much Pep loved it,
Absolutely. I mean, I was thinking the same. You
were doing it from the stands as well.
O'Reilly, I was just thinking, he's what you want from an academy player these days. In the way football's gone, we're so physical and so organised. You get a 6'5" lad, technically brilliant, loves a battle. He can score goals, can run up and down the pitch all day. He's a manager's dream. Pep will be loving that. Yeah. We've gone from having obviously we had Vardy and Ake, but not a recognised left back, and then suddenly we sign Aït-Nouri and O'Reilly looks that good as well. We're absolutely spoilt for choice right now, and it's wonderful. Yeah,
we mentioned the academy as well in our pre-show game, and that was a goal straight out from the academy because it was Phil Foden who deservedly got the assist. Also, I mean, I was just thinking there, and we were trying to say, not really too many negatives from this performance. The other positives I can add, is we look at then the players that came on from the bench, more minutes for Marmoush.
Yeah.
We saw Aït-Nouri, obviously I know he's coming back from injury, but O'Reilly is kind of keeping him out the side at the moment. Also a very welcome return to Rodri. So it just feels, again, like even in that sense as well, more positives.
Yeah, I don't know really if it could have got... I think everyone had a good game. It sounds like an easy thing to say, but I don't think you can highlight any area of that pitch where someone had a bad game. I don't think there was particularly many mistakes. I think generally it was just a solid performance, and it's a performance that we want to see with two big games coming up that we'll get onto, obviously, midweek and next weekend. Yeah, well, let's do just that. Yeah. Lovely little segue there. Thank you, my friend. We are heading, of course, to Champions League football. We are welcoming Borussia Dortmund, game week 4. Dortmund are 6 and level on points with us, and they've only had one defeat in the Bundesliga this season. So this is a very, very good team we're bringing to the Etihad, Stephen. Well, you got to take any German side seriously, and we know the quality of the players that they've produced over the years. Of course, our very own Erling Haaland, Gundogan before that. we've had some quality players from there. Look, we've been so much better in the Champions League this season, and after the Villarreal game and Monaco and so on, we're in a pretty decent place, and I think this is a chance to another victory here puts us almost not certain to qualify, but it puts us in a very good spot. So I feel confident about it. Is it a slight worry that they played their Bundesliga game on Friday?
They have had 2 days extra rest.
I think one of the things you've been highlighting...
They've got to travel, haven't they?
Yeah, one of the things we've been highlighting as well is how many players we've got, and I'm sure we will rotate some players in. So as much as they're going to have a lot of rest, we probably have a little bit of a bigger squad than them. I also think, like Stephen said, if we can win that game, I think sort of around 15, 16 point mark will get you in that top 8, which is what we got to be aiming for. Last year, I think everyone was in the same boat that we wanted to get in that top 8. We didn't quite get there with some of the games we had, but ultimately we're on 7 points. If we can get to 10, I mean, we've got 3 home games left. If you won all 3 of those home games, you'd land on around that mark. So we've got obviously Bodo away, Real Madrid away. They'll be difficult games, difficult places to go. But ultimately, we've got 3 home games. We need to try and win all 3 of them. Yeah, and land in a good position. Yeah.
Luke, I was going to say, always got the maths as well. You always got the numbers for us ready to go. I was just saying there, they've only had 1 defeat in the Bundesliga this season. They've also scored 4 goals in every game of the Champions League.
Oh, really?
Round so far. So
that's going to end, mate. I hope so anyway. I'd be amazed if we conceded 4, you know. So no, we should be fine, man. They're a good side, but we're a better side, in my personal opinion.
And just on the Bundesliga, I think it's just worth a mention because I saw it the other day. EsteemedKompany, of course, manager of Bayern Munich, has won all 14 of his games. He's doing a brilliant job over there.
Absolutely ridiculous. I mean, one day we might see him back here again at some point. Who knows? But just back to bounce back to Dortmund, you said they've scored 4 in every game. I'm pretty sure they conceded 4 against Juventus as well.
They did.
That's why they drew. That was quite a leaky one. So we'll see if we can maybe see another Erling Haaland goal against Dortmund. Against his former club.
That would be lovely. And Stephen, I mean, just kind of picking up on the final point there that Luke said, you'd probably think there'll be a few changes into that midfield. You know what I mean, Tajani Reinders obviously only kind of came on for the last 10 minutes. Maybe think he'd come into.
Well, the changes we've made today as well, the quality of the players we brought on, you know, with Reinders, Rodri, we've got the options there. And I think Rico had a good game in midfield last time around as well. True. So I expect to see Reinders. I expect to see potentially Rico there as well. There'll be changes, but we're sort of blessed now with a fit squad, and we can actually make them. Which usually, around this time of year, is starting to look a little bit threadbare. But that's not the case this year, which is nice, and we need it.
Could you make the argument though, and this is just me playing devil's advocate, that team was in such a good flow there. They are players, the majority of them actually are capable to play every 3 days.
He does that.
Could you make the argument to go, you could start that 11 possibly?
Yeah, we saw it. I mean, at the start of the season, obviously we had that little rough spell at the start, and then we did see the same team pretty much bar the odd injury start.
It was that week, wasn't it? United, Arsenal and...
Yeah, we saw that same team start a number of games in a row. So ultimately, I think a lot of the players on that pitch will keep their spots, because obviously the likes of Rodri as well aren't going to be ready to go and start a game yet, I don't think. So yeah, I could see us have a fairly similar team against Dortmund and then obviously against Liverpool next weekend.
I wondered as well, you know, Pep speaks about, of course, the next game is the most important game, but Luke, as you said, the game after that, huge. Yeah. We welcome Liverpool to the Etihad Stadium. So do you think there is... I know he always says next game. That's got to be in the mind, hasn't it?
It's going to be in the back of your mind, but ultimately the only way you can set yourself up to play that game is by playing a good game against Dortmund. So
that's true.
That's probably why Pep has that mentality. And even thinking about this game after losing last weekend, you've got Swansea in between, and the team was completely changed. But we've gone and won that, and then we bounced on and won again. So it's now 2 games in a row, and hopefully in a week's time we'll be saying it's 4.
That's it, and you want to be bringing good momentum into that game against Liverpool.
Look, success breeds success. I mean, it's addictive winning games, and I think the best teams, and we've seen the best teams. We've been managed by Guardiola for the best part of 10 years, and we saw, you know, when we won every domestic trophy, we were relentless, win everything, keep winning and winning and winning, and they're the standards that you demand, and that's what separates Pep from so many managers. You know, he doesn't throw games. He would never let the players let up, and every game is taken just as seriously. And I think the beauty of that approach is that it demands the highest expectation of players. They know that just because you've got Liverpool coming up and, you know, maybe Dortmund at home you should be winning, it doesn't matter. I mean, you've got to focus on Dortmund. You've got to win that. And it's a chance for everyone to... And that's the beauty of having a big squad. It's a chance for everyone to stake a claim as well. So if you play well against Dortmund, you might get the share against Liverpool.
The final point I want to finish on is the point that we started on, because we all got so excited about it. But Shirky put on a show, 2 assists. I think now someone said to me as well, that's in 4 starts, 7 goal involvements. Wow. We know he had that injury. Was the excitement, was it fair, do you think, having seen that performance, Luke, for us today?
Oh my God, I think we should have been more excited, to be honest. That was crazy, and we were saying before the game as well how excited we were to see him after he's only kind of just come back. imagine how good he's going to be when he's had 10, 15 games in a row. That's what we want, isn't it? It's what a performance.
Well, he's got the runners ahead of him as well, and he's got the movement and clearly got the ability. And I feel, and I might be wrong, I might be right, I don't know, but he looks like a confidence player. That when he accepts that responsibility, which I think he wants, he's gonna thrive in it, because the team, look, we know how good a City are utilising players that have special abilities like De Bruyne and Haaland and so on. Shirky seems to be cut from a similar cloth, hopefully. So give the ball to Shirky and let's see what he can do.
Lovely stuff. Gents, what an absolute pleasure. I've absolutely loved the show with you this evening. Thank you so much. And thank you to all of you for watching. I'm going to be back with you for that game against Borussia Dortmund Wednesday night. I'm going to be bringing you all the build-up with Steph and Sean Gota. I've not been with Sean for a while, so that's sure to be great fun. I will be letting him know that we did want him at the pub, of course. We'll try and make that happen. And I do hope you can join us for that. And please keep your eyes peeled on City Plus. We've got a brand new City Stories episode coming your way. Speaking of Champions League, it was that awful night here at the Etihad Stadium, the infamous semi-final against Tottenham Hotspur, which still... That is one of the worst feelings I've ever had after a game. But we're going to go inside that game. It's a brilliant little watch. We'll leave you with that trailer. Luke, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Stephen.
Pleasure.
And we'll see you all very soon. Have a lovely evening and enjoy your week. It has finished Manchester City 3, Bournemouth 1. We moved to second in the Premier League, 6 points behind Arsenal. Good night.
You were like watching like a horror film.
This is it. It's fairy tale stuff.
I was on edge all the time.
Champions League is here. It's Manchester City hosting Tottenham. Quarter-final, second leg.
It was probably one of the most fantastic games I've ever played in my life.
Stop with the chance. This game's unbelievable.
You just go for it, you know. We always believed that it was possible, no matter what.
Every second I was having palpitations. They don't think this is over yet, but something's going to happen in it.
So it's unpredictable, and football is like this.
All the way through, it's got in! Manchester City!
I think we were robbed.
The unbeatable official Manchester City podcast. Watch the full video version of this show via City Plus now.
Got a question? Send us an email at podcast@mancity.com.